Thank you. Khushnood Nabizada from Afghan media Khaama Press. During your meeting with Ambassador Khalilzad earlier this month, you mentioned that Afghanistan will remain NATO's highest operational priority. What is your prediction regarding the outcome of US and Taliban peace talks in Qatar, considering that Taliban insists on full withdrawal of coalition forces from Afghanistan, and also the latest reports indicate that there are growing ties between Taliban and international terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and Pakistani-based Lashkar-e-Taiba?
So, NATO's presence in Afghanistan has been our biggest military operation outside NATO territory ever. So of course this is and has been a very important mission for NATO. We have to understand why NATO went in. We went in to Afghanistan after the terrorist attacks on the United States 9/11/2001. Because we saw that Afghanistan was a platform to train, to organize attacks on our countries, and that could not continue. And these attacks were at the United States, but actually we saw also attacks in Madrid, in London, and elsewhere. So this was actually attacks organized by Al-Qaeda, other terrorist groups, against us. So we are in Afghanistan to protect our interests, to protect our security. So this has been important for NATO allies and partners to prevent Afghanistan, again, being a safe place for international terrorists. And together with Afghan forces, we have been able to deny a safe haven for international terrorists in Afghanistan. It's not easy, and we have paid the price, all of us, but at least Afghanistan is not the safe haven for international terrorists it was before 2001. Then, of course, for us, the aim is not to stay as long as possible in Afghanistan. For us, the aim is to train, build the Afghan forces so they can stabilize their own country. And again, there are many problems, many challenges in Afghanistan, but at least we have made a huge achievement, made a lot of progress by being able to go from more than 140,000 combat troops in Afghanistan a few years ago to now around 16,000 in a non-combat operation where we train and advise the Afghans and they do the fighting. They are on the front line. And they are now making progress because they are well-trained, better equipped, better commanded, new commanders, younger commanders, better organized and better led, and more enablers, including, for instance, air forces. So the progress we see on the battlefield now is actually something the Afghans achieve, and we are, what should I say, grateful for that, because that's also in our interest, and we're also proud because we have helped that happen by training and advising them. Then it's, of course, not possible for me to say exactly how many troops we will have if there is a peace deal, because that depends on the peace deal. What Ambassador Khalilzad has said many times, and I totally agree with him, is that nothing is agreed before everything is agreed. So this is a package. And we are not aiming for a leave deal, we are aiming for a peace deal. So the elements have to be in place, including Afghan reconciliation. We have been there to protect our own interests, our own security, but of course we also recognize the huge progress which has been made in Afghanistan when it comes to social, economic progress, not least human rights, freedom of press, and the rights of women. And for us it's important to try to preserve those gains, and that has to be one part of the peace deal.